as we deliberate and constructively discuss the challenges and triumphs of our unique and beautiful country. May you also enjoy blessings over all our people and country to give them the peace and harmony and prosperity that they deserve. Lord, hear our prayer as we now all together say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us that day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thy is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Honourable members, I acknowledge the presence in the speakers and public gallery of members of Bogia District Development Authority and grade 6 students and their teachers from St. Anne's Primary School in the National Capital District. On behalf of the Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to you all. Any petitions? Notices? Honourable members, question time. The Honourable Governor for Sepik.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. My question without notice I direct to the Honourable Prime Minister in his capacity as the Chairman of NEC. And since the question involves a range of matters concerning the Department of Justice, the Department of Treasury and the Department of Works, I request the relevant ministers to please take note. Firstly, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I want to place on record my appreciation that even though we were the last to be recognized in the Connect PNG program, I wish to express the gratitude of myself and my people for the launching that the Prime Minister and his executive team did on their recent visit to my province for both East and West Sepik. Whilst I'm grateful, there were a number of issues, and Mr. Deputy Speaker, as you can appreciate, time lo yumi lo talk amamas, I mean no time to ask him question. Parliament and place to ask him all this question. Let me preface by stating that in 2026, in the budget that we approved, there was 1.7 billion for works. Out of that, 690 million was specifically for Connect PNG. I note that we approved a borrowing of 1.6 billion in this year's budget, and the Treasurer gave an undertaking, Mr. Speaker, that next year we will have a balanced budget, which means no borrowing. Now, recently, in addition to the almost 2 billion kina for East and West Sepik that was announced by the Honourable Prime Minister and his executive team in Maprik and in Wewak and in Engoram, there was also a 1.6 billion kina road, which I think is the largest in our history in terms of the contract size, for Abao to Alotau. So if we add all of this, that's almost 3.6 billion in roads that were announced around the same time and contracts were awarded, Mr. Speaker. My first question is in relation to the Sepik roads. Part of the announcement included the Pasam to Maprik road, which was awarded more than 12 months ago Now, I traveled on that road several times last week, and I can say that the contractor still has not commenced work, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Now, I understand that for that particular road, the Australians under the TSSP program had allocated 100 million kina in funding. A local Sepik contractor was selected and recommended to the NEC. In the NEC's wisdom, they chose a Chinese contractor instead of the Sepik contractor, the local contractor. As a result, the Australians decided to withdraw the 100 million that was allocated for that section of the road. Now, as of now, in my opinion and in the opinion of many Sepiks who use that road, that contractor has not performed. So my first question is, can the NEC rescind its decision and utilize the Australian funding as originally intended, or has that money now been withdrawn? My second question, why was a Chinese contractor preferred over a Papua New Guinean, in fact a Sepik contractor, who met the very stringent requirements of the Australian government and won the contract on their own merits? Question 3, for the coastal road from Wewak to Aitape, there is still need for work to be done because that is our only international highway that is expected to link us to Jayapura in Indonesia, West Papua. Can the PM inform my people of Wewak when he expects that road to come into the program? Question 4. I note during the announcement by the good Minister for Works and the good Prime Minister that these 3.6 billion kina in contracts awarded across Sepik and from Abau to Alotau are a new design. Well, certainly in my knowledge, it's a new design in terms of the modality. These contracts are design, finance, and build. What that means is that the contractor will design the road to our standards, supervised by Works. They will find the money to pay for that road, and they will build it. And therefore, a liability is created into the future. In the case of these types of contracts, who carries the liability? Does the state carry the liability on its books, or does the contractor who is taking out the loan carry the liability? Question 5. At what point does that liability become a PNG state liability? Is it during the award of the contract, during the construction phase, or at practical completion? Question 6. Where do we hold the debt, Mr. Deputy Speaker? Does Treasury put the debt into arrears? Or where does it put it? Because if it puts it into the arrears, then that liability is kept off the books, because the liabilities under the arrears, which I think totals about 6 to 8 billion kina, have never been brought onto the books. And as you know, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I've raised that issue numerous times. They are still off the books. So if you are going to add them onto the arrears, because I can see that that's the only logical place to put them, given that in the 1.7 billion announced for works this year, there's already 100 million allocated for arrears. Hence the question. Question 7. Since these roads are financed by a contractor, these roads rather, they are technically loans. Is the government intending to bring to Parliament a document for the approval of this 3.6 billion kina loan? If it doesn't require parliamentary approval, can the Prime Minister give an undertaking to provide an advice from the Department of Justice that it does not require parliamentary approval? Question 8. I understand that there are just over 7 billion kina in current Connect PNG roads under construction. And I note that from the presentation by the Chairman for Public Accounts yesterday. Now, this latest announcement of 3.6 billion would take the number over 10 billion. When, in the timeline of this country going into the future, does the government expect to pay for these design, finance, and build contracts? Mr. Speaker, I acknowledge that these are highly technical questions and would understand if the PM would like these questions in writing, and I am happy to send them to the clerk. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Whilst I do not have the privilege of an advanced question to sequence my flow of answer, I'll try to be succinct as well as try to reply to the principles of the questions that was asked. And in due time, if he cares to suit me entire verbatim of his questions, then we will get an appropriate reply through a ministerial statement or a reply in due course. But firstly, I want to say that thank you to the people of Sepik for wonderful hospitality, including his own self, who was there, accompanying me in both instances in Maprik and in Agra. Both of these two locations are particularly for us in Pangupati, our spiritual home. Maprik is the headquarters of the late Sir Peter Luce, who's been a party stalwart since 1964 and who was instrumental in ushering in Grand Chief into politics in 1968. And so it is more fitting that as the present Pangu leader, I do station myself in those two locations to pay homage to two of the founding fathers of not just Pangu, but more importantly, our country as it is today. The people of Sepik, East Sepik or East and West Sepik, do deserve enabling infrastructures. Two provinces has one of the greatest potential to unbundling a rural economy, and especially the type of economy we want for our country, or this administration wants for our country going forward, that is pinned against land, people, and where resources are. The East and West Sepik together, put together, is, in my view, is bigger than the entire 7 Highlands provinces. You could easily fit the 7 Highlands provinces into that space. Over 80,000 square kilometers of land is the size of the two provinces put together. So they deserve those enabling infrastructures. We have close to 2 billion kina worth of infrastructure contracts issued, especially roads, not to mention the airports that we are working upon. And I want to say that the forestry, the fisheries, the inland fisheries, the agriculture, the tourism space in those two areas are second to none, including the land access to Jayapura. Right now, Vainamo is the land bridge from PNG into Southeast Asia through Jayapura. So it is strategic. It is a place that needs intervention. On the issue on East and West Sepik Highway, Coastal Highway, it is currently covered under the Connect PNG Stage 1 radar. It's a program within Stage 1. I'll have to refresh myself from works where the contract has been issued, but from what I know of, the work happening from the eastern side as well as the western side to approach the center of that strategic highway. So I'll get the minister concerned to update us later on. But on the Hawaiian bridge that has not been worked upon, for the benefit of East and West Sepik and the greater country, there are some landowner-related issues that stopped the work from being expeditious, but I think those issues have been attended to. I'd like to place my record appreciation to the Honourable Stanley Samban, who had a hand in making sure that the landowner issues are resolved, and work is starting again. Hawaiian Bridge would have one of a unique sort of design overlay that should be part of that construct of East and West Sepik Highway going forward. The the first question relating to Maprik Wewek or Passam to Maprik Highway, I want to say, whilst I have every respect for the Australian program, the HSSP program, we've seen in the Bulolo, for instance, they come in the gravelling and temporary maintenance approach. We feel some of these roads deserve a permanent restoration, not temporary maintenance. So respectfully, we've had word with Australian government in the grant and aid program that rehabilitation is okay, but we want permanent restoration. And so just like Bulolo, our government was accused that we are tampering with that contract delay. It wasn't so. From 2021, 2022, we were asking to overlay. If we're spending 66 million kina on just maintenance, rather 5 kilometers or 6 kilometers, 10 kilometers sealed and permanently done up than just surface maintenance that erodes again in the next rain that runs through. So Maprik, Passam to Maprik came in the same focus. Instead of just overrun in maintenance that will be eroding in 2 or 3 years, we want a permanent restoration. And I do apologize to the people of Central Sepik who use this road. It's an important vanilla, cacao, and people road. We thought that a permanent reconstruction is better than just a rehabilitation. So that's why the Australian support in maintenance was pulled back, and we brought Connect PNG into the picture just to make sure that that economic road was given a total restoration. And that is within the scope. From that on, the Maprik Warasiga all the way to Lumi Road was overlaid, and it's all within that envelope of Connect PNG Stage 1. And I want to indicate to this country we are also pushing into Stage 2. We step back. Connect PNG has a 20-year focus. Even if the Marape-Rosso government or Pangu government is not in office next year, I want to advise the government from 2027 onwards, never abandon road connectivity to your people. Our people must be connected by road. Economists put it that 1 kilometer of road invested, or one kina of road invested on a road, has a return to the economy of 4 kina. So it's a multiple return to the economy as far as when road construction is concerned. So, Mr. Speaker, the entire Stage 1 is an envelope of close to 7 to 8 billion kina. So we're pushing to the ceiling of Stage 1. But we also, through our government, asking works to, because the need is ever present. And we want to cover all part of our country as much as possible, leaving no place behind. We have few areas like the East and West Sepik is now covered with, especially the main economic arteries, the main roads. We have few main substantial arteries that remain to be covered. Example, crossover from Magi Highway into Oro, or running from Baya Hagen to Medang, or unlocking from Karamui to Bundi all the way to Medang. Those major arteries that remain to be unlocked, all in all, south side, from north side to south side of New Britain Highway, fully completing east to West Manus, etc. This is what I call the economic arteries of our country. These were people, forestry, cacao, oil palm, coffee, and agriculture. So these roads are economic roads. We can't be playing politics. We can't be saying it's Marape's dream. It is our national dream. No one thought it was feasible to drive from Port Moresby to Alatau. We did that before September 16 last year. 2 years ago, I drove from Kikori into Hagen for the first time. Today, mothers from Kikori are selling crabs and prawns. I interviewed a councillor in Kikori, a woman councillor, I forgot her name, God bless her. She told me when I visited her 1 year later, one Christmas later, by the way, Kikori has become my favorite place to visit now. So she told me, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for this road. I now earn 16 to 20,000 kina a week or a trip, selling crabs, sagos, betel nuts in Yelibu and Mount Hagen. And so this is an indication that when road opens, people move market flow, and C fulfills Governor Havata's prophetic statement. When we were opening the road from last stretch of road from Eravet to Semberigi to Kikori, Governor Havata made a statement in Batri village, not Batri village, Semberigi village. Governor Havata said, now no longer will Highlanders come down, we must reverse the tide. Or Kikori must come on top now, Salimo Kaikelo Highlands. Exactly that woman fulfills this story. I just want to indicate as I come back, stage one, and Governor Baird is very intellectual. He knows exactly what he's asking. He's correct that we now are reaching the ceiling of stage one. We throw in Karamui, we throw in Ramu to Medeng, again Ramu Medeng, and few of those key missing links where people and economy activities are, then we would have gone past our stage one. I want to give indication to Governor that through this question, we want to marry stage one and stage two. The second or third question he asked is it going to add to our debt profile? I want to give assurance to Governor that technically maybe so, but legally not so. The Connect PNG Act allows for 5.6% of every year's allocation to be quarantined to finance road infrastructure. And the Connect PNG Act and PFMA Act also allows for forward contracting. So when we issue this contract within the envelope of the 20-year lifespan of road infrastructure, under the Connect PNG Act, marrying stage one and stage two together, the contracts we issuing do not go and affect the underlying debt profiling that Treasurer will be worrying about. Every year there will be a budget handed down. It will be wise on any government that comes on into the future, stick to 5.6% as quarantine in Connect PNG Act, finance those contracts that we issued, work through them, and allow our people to participate in the growth economy. Mr. Speaker, today you got Postcori headline on the windfall by number one super and even NASFund, or NASFund today, number one super the other day. 13%, 12%. Now you tell me where this is coming from. Papua LNG hasn't started as yet. Pasca hasn't started as yet. WAFI hasn't started as yet. This is coming from direct national government intervention to the economy with over 300 contractors stationed nationwide. Money given to districts and provinces for activities nationwide, as well as sustaining the economy. And what we want to do, these roads, as we invest in the next 20 years, they must get the cacao and everything out so that we together incubate a growth in the economy. So Connect PNG Act that quarantines 5.6% of any budget going forward prospectively must cover these contracts we issue, and we pay them out as we go throughout a year. Most roads, if not all roads that we've issued, are affected by budgets and a hybrid of combination. This year we have a program to work with BSP, a 600 million kina program locked in, and all lending that we've booked for this year, the last few years, Treasury is working to clear them out. So the next year we have no more borrowing, and purely on 5.6% of our budget support to Connect PNG will then just keep on financing these contracts out. Most of the international contractors, especially Chinese contractors that currently are engaged, have shown the ability to forward finance or forward do the work using their own balance sheets. And we've seen them, and the Works Department has procured the engagement at the backdrop of forward contracting that the tender requirements specified. So, because they have the ability to finance the projects themselves, and state pay them out in 4, 5, 6 years, where they've been engaged in, especially some of these major projects that we have running. So, I want to give assurance to the Governor for Sepik. We understand the weight of the contracts that has been issued. We looked into 5.6% of the economy in a growth economy going forward. You look at this year's budget, 30 billion kina, 5.6% of this. You look at next year, maybe 32 billion kina. So enveloping or modeling the 5.6% element of budget. We're giving out this contract, but there'll be a cap to stage 1, and a few of these areas that should have been in stage 2, we bring back into stage 1. We lock them in. Next couple of years, we finance them out. We are paying lifting all parts of our country together instead of concentrating 1 or 2 areas as we have been in the past. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You have supplementary from the member for Alatau.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to ask my supplementary.
Honourable member, sorry for interrupting you. Honourable members and members on the gallery, yes, I want to comment on the phone ringings, and the phone is ringing now, so please check your phones that your phones are off or on flight mode or on silent mode so that we don't disturb the House during session. Honourable member, you may continue.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I was going to ask these questions to the Works Minister, but since the Prime Minister has touched on the contracts, I'm interested in the Southern Corridor contract, especially the 1.5 billion that was announced earlier this month with regards to the 242 kilometers from Moraguina to Garaisu. Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, firstly let me acknowledge the Prime Minister and of course the government for this ambitious infrastructure program. Of course we acknowledge and of course support the initiative. I want to also acknowledge and congratulate the Minister for Works as well on his appointment, and of course acknowledge the former Minister's vision, late Minister, and his work towards this program. And thirdly, also commend the Chairman for the public accounts for presenting his report yesterday with regards to the program. Deputy Speaker, my questions make reference to my the last session. I asked questions to the late Minister and his response, and of course the announcement of the 1.5 billion contract for the Southern Corridor. This contract for the 242 kilometers stretch from Moraguina to Garaisu stops at Garaisu. Now, my concern, Deputy Speaker, is that Garaisu is not Alotau. Garaisu is at the border of Central Province. There's 103 kilometers from Garaisu to Alotau.
Honourable member for Alatau, sorry if I interrupt you again. Your supplementary question is not related to what the Governor for Sepik has raised, but since then I already gave you a chance to ask your question. I'll have that question not as a supplementary, it's a new question now. So whether you want to raise it to the Prime Minister or the Minister for Works, you can, but if...
Thank you. Maybe, Deputy Speaker, I'll ask the Minister for Works, but thank you for allowing me to ask the question. But it's in relation to the contracts that were also...
your question will be to the Minister for Works.
Yep.
Continue.
Deputy Speaker, I equally am concerned because this contract will be spread for the next 8 years on the 1.5 billion. And so, while I welcome this development, I am also concerned that the economic corridor that stretches between Garaisu and Alotau of 103 kilometers, most of the economic action is taking place in that stretch. And we are sealing a road that is further out of the township and in the middle of the bush. And so, Deputy Speaker, this stretch of the road contributes to the national pairs to a tune of almost 300 million, because we have 3,500 hectares of village oil palm growing there, 20,000 hectares of oil palm that generates 300 million of exports into the national pairs. And for this road to be missed out in this planning, I asked the question of what's the justification and rationale of not including this stretch of the road to Alotau in this contract. So, Deputy Speaker, my question to the Minister is, can the Minister assure this House and my people of Alotau that the contract will continue from Garaisu to Alotau to allow the road access for my oil palm growers and, of course, other economic activity that will happen between Abao and Alotau at the border area. The other question that I wanted to raise to the Minister with regards to the late Minister's response in the last Parliament sitting, he gave an undertaking to review the contract and the TSSP program as well to fast-track the road from Alotau to Garaisu, in a review of that contract and the bridges that are also on that stretch of the road, and especially the Haumo Bridge. That bridge was installed by the Department of Works some 7 years ago. It's a Bailey Bridge, and nothing has been done on that bridge as it's the entry point into the township. So can the Minister give some indication and assurances on this road, stretch of the road on the southern region corridor? Thank you.
The Honourable Minister for Works.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And I would like to appreciate the good question by a member for Alotau. Long this Lagutla question, which I may also make mention that it was brought up as a question also to our good late Minister, Honourable Solon Mirisim. And I would like at the outset firstly say this, that we will continue to follow through on the commitments and the work that has been done by our good late Minister. And this government has been very fair on all districts and provinces, regardless of which side of the house we sit. Because this big program is about unearthing, unleashing our full potential because of our land. And I want to appreciate the debates that on customary land yesterday in regards to the reforms that we are taking. And I appreciate our good chairman for the land reforms, really highlighting the need for our indigenous people to be at the forefront of our development. But those development will not happen if we do not have roads that link to our land. So I want to appreciate all of us for the commentaries that were echoed yesterday in the House. Now the Magi Highway section between Port Moresby and Alotau, just give you a bit of a background. We have Bautama to Imila is undertaken by Kana Constructions. Imila to Moriguina is by Global Construction, Moriguina to Garaisu by Kovac, and Garaisu to Alotau is by Global Construction under the TSSP maintenance, as you know. The program is it was included in the 1.5 billion Kenya contract, as there is an existing contract. And the TSSP is currently reviewing the scope of works, including the bridge works. So I would like to assure our good member that the points that were brought up previously to our good late Minister, I will ensure that we follow through on it, and I can assure you that work is being done and that we are not choosing and picking where the roads go to. We will ensure that all roads must unearth and all roads must lead to full economic potential of our people in our country. So the people of Alotau, you will not be missed in terms of what the roads that we are constructing in the country, and that I want to reassure again the people of Alotau that your concerns have been heard, and I will continue to ensure that we follow through on the commitments by our late Minister and the work that is currently being done by our contractors on those roads. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
We have supplementary. The member for about.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. A very short one. Also, I want to, on behalf of the people of Abao, thank the government through the Prime Minister for this another very, very big investment between Central Province and Alotau, and really highly commendable effort and this big decision on this new contract to COVAC that has been announced. One question is, Honorable Minister, will this contract include the bridges or no? Because as you and I know, before Christmas, the log bridge that our logging company put up at Magore was washed away. The reason being that this Magore River is a very big river and very fast flowing, including a small bridge called Darava. Both were washed away at the same time because the Cloudy Bay area is a high rainfall area. So I hope and wish that this big contract will also include the bridges. I understand there is a separate bridges program that the Works Department is carrying out. So that's the first question, whether it will include the bridges as well. The second question, I think I understand you are also acting for Communication Minister as well. This is a long stretch of the highway, and therefore when trucks have problems between Moreguina and Gadaisu, there is lack of communication system, so people are stranded in the middle. And so I'm strongly recommending that the towers be also put up along the highway because of the communication issues that people face in this long stretch of the road. And so if that commitment can be made, then I think that will really provide a very, very good service. The last question, as a leader of government business, the good chairman for Public Accounts Committee presented a very good report on the Connect PNG, but we forgot to debate it. Can you make a commitment for a House to debate it next week? Because many issues we are reading and we are concerned about the discrepancies that are in this report. So could you please allow next week for the House to debate the report? Thank you.
Minister for Works.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And I would like to appreciate the question by Honourable Sepik. The first one, in terms of bridges, we have separate contracts for bridges, and that will certainly be catered for. Your second question on communication, certainly where all roads, I think it was the intent of our Connect PNG that it is not only that we connect our people with roads, but it must also be with communication. And this is where the fiber optic comes into play. But certainly I will ensure that that coverage, if there's no coverage in that area, one of our responsibility under NICTA and the government is to reach our people right across our country in terms of lower affordability of communication. And that is something that we're looking into, and I will ensure that that is considered and that is covered. And the third point is the good chairman for PAC, Honourable Kaumu, who brought in the report on the work that has been done under Connect PNG. And I must, on the outset, as the Minister responsible, I really appreciate the work of the Parliamentary Committee. I hear our leaders from yesterday's conversation that we all appreciated what the parliamentary committees have done in terms of different agendas being brought before the House, and the work done by PAC and the committees is good to keep the executive arm in check independently, and it sharpens the way we deliver service to our people. And I want to appreciate Chairman for the work that's being done. Regardless of how the media presents discussions and agendas on paper or in public, the work is about getting us as ministers responsible, as departments, putting our people at the center of what we do in our work. So I really appreciate, and I want to firm and commit that we will provide for a moment next week for us to fully debate on the report that was provided by our good chairman for PAEC. Thank you, Assistant Speaker, Deputy Speaker.
Governor for East New Britain.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Allowing me asking on the question, Minister for International Trade and Investment. Before me, asking to me like talk mas long. To plan nip lawan mok le mi plus tab in China nip Laos. Governor long New Ireland. But balalugin mi silon ken layen also lo day nip la me mi plus tab leon templa. I direct my questions to the Minister for International Trade and Investment, Minister Maru. Firstly, I wish to commend the national government and the MRDC, especially MD Agustin Mano, taking the initiative to develop a new master plan aimed at transforming Kokopo in East New Britain into a regional tourism hub. Such initiatives have the potential to stimulate economic growth and create employment opportunities for our people. However, Deputy Speaker, recent media reports published by the National on the 16th of February in Leh during a stakeholders high-level workshop indicate that a 17.6 billion kina for the Kokopo Tourism Economic Zone initiative. It appears that this major announcement have been made before proper consultation with the provincial government and other stakeholders. Therefore, triple asking us all, why was the announcement made publicly before formal consultation? One, the provincial government. Number two, was the ministry responsible for tourism or relevant tourism authorities also consulted during the planning process? And also number three, who are the main stakeholders being considered for this project? And what partnership arrangements are being proposed for its implementation? Number four, is this tourism economic zone intended only for Kokopo, or will it also involve the other three districts in the province? Mr. Deputy Speaker, it is important that major development initiatives such as these are coordinated with the provincial governments and local stakeholders to ensure inclusive development for our people. Thank you.
The Honourable
Thank you.
Honourable Minister, we have a point of order.
Deputy Speaker, me requesting the Sultan, you may not extend him question without notice. Liglig time mo, because grievance debate and by karim iplay golo 1-2 kilok la pinon. Thank you.
Honourable Member, in regard to extension of question time, when you are given a floor to ask a question, you can use that privilege of asking to question, extend the question time. But for using point of order to ask for an extension of time, Honourable Member for Namatana, I would not allow for that. So, yeah. The Honourable Minister for
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'd like to thank the Governor of Eastern Britain for asking this very important question. before I answer the question, let me give you some essential background so that the House is up to speed with the answer I'm going to give. Mr. Deputy Speaker, a couple of years ago, the government, our national government, made a decision that the East Nubian province will be the main tourism hub of this country. It's got the attractions, it has the war relics, the undersea caves, it's got everything. And it's considered, once we get safety right, this province has a vast potential. I called a workshop of potential investors who are interested in economic zones to come to Leh in February, and a number of them came and did presentations, including MRDC, who want to be the lead investor to set up an economic zone in East Nubian province, specifically on tourism. We did invite the Minister for Tourism, but he didn't come. In that presentation, which I saw for the first time myself, they have a vision to transform the tourism sector in East Nubian by railing and trying to build over the next 10 years the biggest tourism hub in the entire Pacific. This will include a golf course, many world-class hotels, and the total upgrade of the Tokua airport. They're targeting 600,000 tourists a year in this very ambitious plan. Which I saw for the first time, and I'm quite excited, to be absolutely honest. Mr. Speaker, while it's their vision, no tourism zone will happen in East Nubian without the upgrade of Tokua into a major international airport. That is fundamental. You've got to bring in flights from Japan, Australia into Tokua, and you don't have an airport that can do that right now. So before I start talking to stakeholders like the governor and others, this proposal must first come to Cabinet. Cabinet must endorse the proposal, but importantly commit to finding $1 billion to build a new Tokua International Airport, which will be the anchor for such a zone to be developed. So, Deputy Speaker, I have now asked MRDC to formally bring to Cabinet, or to me, a submission which I could take to Cabinet to endorse the concept in consultation with the Governor of East Nubian. And importantly, commit to finding $1 billion kina to building the Tokua International Airport. That's where it's at right now. So I cannot talk to stakeholders like himself and the province without getting the views of Cabinet and their endorsement. When I get NEC endorsement, we can then meet with the relevant ministers and the governor and all the stakeholders and discuss the way forward and how we could all work together to deliver this project. So for now, I'm still waiting for a submission from MRDC, and until I get it, I'm not able to move that, and I cannot talk details with the good governor and the province. But I think this is one of the most exciting projects to be undertaken in our country. It has my full support, but I can't move it until I see the details. That's where we are, and I certainly will consult with the province when NEC has had a chance to look at the proposal. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, our question times has left. Grievance debate. The Honourable Governor for West New Britain.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Haturu lo kisima opportunity lo ask him question too, so meeting also question ya mi convert him golo grievance debate so. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, as you know, Western Britain is one of the economic hub for Papua New Guinea. Generates over 2 billion kina, in terms of our economic contribution to the national purse. And road, as everyone confirms, agrees that it's a lifeline for the development. Even for education, our health, our livelihood of our people, road becomes the lifeline. Deputy Speaker, mi ogla harim plenty kind of some billions na botia me feel also helpless, but to raise it up. Mi harim loyi Sepik also 1.2 billion. Milan Bay and 1.97 billion kina. Now all these ones here, Mr. Deputy Speaker, while I thank and congratulate the Minister and the government for all these mega projects, I believe Western Britain truly deserves the support from national government as we contribute economically for the GDP of this great country. Deputy Speaker, Hoskins and Gateway Blow, Western Britain. Suppose you now come on Temila, Hoskins, Golo Kimbe, you by cross no go and by Bampina, by by Shoim Olsem Mipla Olsem Onpla economic province where and by Inonaplo reflecting this development or economic development inside Western Britain. Hoskins Golo Kimbe, Hoskins Golo Biala also part of the New Britain Highway. One of the most important lifeline for West New Britain to East New Britain, Natulo country. 24/7 you got fruit trucks running. 24/7 you got oil tankers running. 24/7 all the logging trucks and people commute on this road. And this road, any investments on this road, the rate of investment is high. The rate of return is high. Within 5 years you can recover. Deputy Speaker, while I appreciate the government's initiative, I'll go to Arablo West New Britain, I'll try hard connecting West New Britain, I'll go to East New Britain. I'll award him some contract. Also, on month to claiming also chairman block connect PNG na. I'm busy lo this work, go around and talk also government appoint him chairman block connect PNG na I'm implementing this project. While this project, Misa also government initiative na fund him. Of course, I'm not privy to or kisi many kind of update this project, but while I appreciate this 140 million kina, I am stop Arare lo West New Britain close to river Pandi connecting East New Britain. Me too worry no good to this highway mipla New Britain highway, am start my junction go Biala Algata, am road and Bagara Palgata. Am covering entire Nakanai district. This road, this is where all gata this oil pump tankers na something by around picking fruit na oil na come refinery. Deputy Speaker, this I'm needing immediate attention. Assistant Speaker, for me play no say the TSSP by go na working or DOW by go working or tax credit by working, no got man working. Plenty time also, you me expecting one organization la work, but then by talk also TSSP by working, narapla by talk this la DOW by working, but ultimately nobody has done anything for last 5 years. There is nothing, improvement. While we support the new investments, people to worry lo this la maintenance lo this la road where by need lo give him immediate attention. Deputy Speaker, Narapla, Assistant Speaker, Narapla Road to Hoskins Golo Kwaimumu. Close to also 30 villages stop. Close to 20,000 people stop lo this la hap. Salwara cutting this la road lo plenty hap na road Bagara Palgata. Thankfully Minister Oil Palm raised on time Prime Minister give him some commitment lo support him. This la road to one important road where save bring him oil palm lo factory. Likewise, Narapla Road to Talasia Ring Road where Chairman Blow PAC raised him up plenty time finish. Na Trongo last this late Minister yet come launch him and promise him contractor also within a week and by Karim 1.5 million I give him, but according to contractor, I'm not kishim money, so I'm not work. Talasya district too, I'm also 50% oil pump stop lo this lab. Speaker, how me by contribute time this la one most important, infrastructure blow this economic activity lo oil pump. Suppose Emino threat, how you me by supporting? Deputy Speaker, 2025, you got 10 million kina appropriation too lo Kimbe go lo Kenrian too. This la appropriation too lo 2025 me arim also lo treasurer also 3 million kina al releasing. This la money to stop on them DOW. All gata man Mary lo province all work lo blaming me play lo work come up. That's all. Something I'm stop on them national agency. Na all supposed to come na implement in this la work. To come up. Trongo all people lo me play lo South Coast they were not connected to their own provincial capital and this is a long struggle. And also a Kalimolshem tunnel. Time Karigona stuck inside lo this la hub. Car by digging na walking plenty kind tunnel by Kamlo this la route. Maintenance and vital need for this road. Assistant Speaker, it's like our honest request and prayer that government by no good people koroslo mina ipla like look save lo West New Britain mino save. Why you play busy all the Tanarpla province, but you play ignore him one most important province where I'm contributing money through economy. In fact, I'm home oil palm. Oil palm lo Narapla province, I'm come behind the soul. West New Britain, I'm still headquarters below oil palm. Now, Mipla look out him all gata man Mary blow Papua New Guinea inside lo West New Britain. You got Sepik, you got Highlands, you got Southern region people, all gata man Mary. Our people have practiced truly this unity in diversity for a very long time. And all these people brought into West New Britain in the name of economic development. Now, Mipla stop lo this social time bomb, where population blow this la. Now also all call him Sepik blow Sepik, all call him also West New Britain Sepik or West New Britain Southern Islands or West New Britain Chimbu. You play by looking time blow election, how much plus Chimbu by Sanap, how much plus Sepik by Sanap. All got a man lo Papua New Guinea, got fair opportunity lo this la. So we have a moral responsibility, Assistant Speaker. I'm grievance blooming ami talk lo this la. Government has got moral responsibility lo him. And gone are the days, Assistant Speaker, me regret also 2015 former Prime Minister stop na mi pla golo Indian strike him one deal lo this la Indian Exim Bank. It's like a dream only. Emino come up through. This la 4-lane road lo Hoskins Hoskins come lo Kimbe. It's not even talking about Hoskins to Kimbe. It's starting from my junction to Kimbe, 20 kilometer. I am begging even 5 kilometer. Assistant Speaker, last year alone, people are witnessing 6 accidents right in front of our general hospital, Kimbe Provincial Hospital. Just because this extreme traffic lo I blow this hospital. People need him at least 5 kilometer or 10 kilometer because I'm initiative lo government. Lo come up in 4-lane road. I'm next door neighbor blow me kishim congratulations. Lo mol. Lo bring him 4-lane lo at least 10 kilometer approach ko lo provincial capital lo Olgata province. But this la before meeting also I'm luxury. But now meeting also this la immediate need. Through you need him this la 4-lane road. Start lo at least start lo Navio Junction where you got Mosa Oil Pump headquarters stop. Now come down lo Kimbe. By easing traffic lo namay lo this la road. So by allowing free flow blow traffic. Morning time you like 7 to 8 you like drive lo this la. By hard through lo you drive because by got car and pull up. So through this la grievance debate, Assistant Speaker, through you. Me like genuinely requesting government lo relook at reviewing this law also one kind investment you can make him lo West New Britain lo straight in this la important road assets inside lo West New Britain for quite long we have been constantly ignored. Mino save am deliberate work secretary korosulami or work secretary like got narapla agenda or strategy mino save. But me like congratulate him, new works minister, and promise him also, and by bringing accountability, integrity, transparency, all got something low, when I'm low, reset. So me genuinely feel, minister, please step in, review this whole, investments through department below you, see how we can work on time, bring in this development, Mr. Assistant Speaker, before opportunity below me finish, me to congratulate him, member-elect for day open, Honorable Keeper, to Governor below New Ireland Province, Honorable Byron Chen. I congratulate on behalf of our people of Western Britain. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
I would give this opportunity to member for day open.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. My grievance this morning is we just had a recent by-election in my district. As a result, I am here. However, my grievance is concerning how the election was conducted, especially when it came to the process of counting. There's a number of steps in the election process. One is the campaign, one is the register issue, followed by the nomination, and then campaign begins, and after the campaign, voting happens, and after the voting, the counting process happens, and it's completed by the declaration. Now, in our case, or in the by-election in my district, during the counting process, after the primary votes were counted, the quality check was conducted, and all the boxes in the district or in the electorate were admitted by the returning officer that was appointed by the acting electoral commissioner. And from experience as a lawyer myself and someone who has dealt with a lot of election petitions, I know the law that once the box, a ballot box, is put on the table, the counting center, inside the counting center, and it's admitted by the returning officer, or if it's rejected by the returning officer, if there's a complaint coming from the scrutineers of each candidate, then whatever the decision is the returning officer makes inside the counting center, that becomes the final decision. And only a court of disputed returns can undo the decision of the returning officer. Now, in my case, I had 2 ballot boxes that were from my local area, or 2 council wards that come from my area. They were set aside after the boxes were admitted into counting, and the scores were put on the tally box, and the quality check was done. At that point of time, I was leading the race, and when the 2 ballot boxes containing a total of 3,300 votes, when they were removed, I fell from leading the race to 4th position. Now, I wrote to the acting electoral commissioner saying, and the direction came from the acting electoral commissioner, directing the returning officer to undo the scrutiny process, which, as far as I know the law, Section 153A of the Organic Law on National and Local Level Government Elections, it says the returning officer has the power to admit or reject, not the acting electoral commissioner. And she exercised the powers under Section 19 of the Organic Law, saying that she has the overall direction and supervision of an election process. And this was the first time in the history of elections where the acting electoral commissioner stepped in to reverse the scrutiny process. In almost all cases, it has always been the courts who, after a declaration is made, the court has the power to either an order for the box to be admitted, if it's rejected, or if it's rejected, for it to be admitted and counted. Now that is the law. So my concern is, if the acting electoral commissioner acts under using a discretion under Section 19 to say that she has the power, which I know the courts have, to say that she can undo the scrutiny process, what's the guarantee there that this won't happen to any other election?
Now, by doing what she did, it now leaves everybody, or gives every candidate, and we have the national election 12 months away from now. It will give every candidate the opportunity to say that you don't have to go to courts anymore. You just have to go to the acting commissioner, and she can set aside those boxes, or she can admit those boxes. And I'm raising this concern because I know the elections are coming up. All of us here in this House will be going back for elections. And if this is how it's conducted, it's going to affect a lot of elections. The process should be that it should be the Court of Disputed Returns who should undo the scrutiny process, and not the acting electoral commissioner or the electoral commissioner. That's my grievance I wish to raise in this Honourable House this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for the Matanai.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. My grievance debate law side belong Golo Boundaries Commission. Question belong me been in line lo disallow thinking. But me like Dr. Lo here to tell lo our team thinking belong me where me feel also the Boundaries Commission is being very slow in its process to try and determine which electorates are going to be ready for 2027 national general election. Me concerned too also some long electorates where only big platumas only meeting all criteria pinis also me one pla long all lo side na Matanai. Me meeting all the requirement pinis lo Boundaries Commission lo qualify lo kisi one pla new pla electorate. Now, this electorate, we play call him also Konos open electorate. Now, me meet him all get the requirement pinis. The Boundaries Commission is salim all officer pinis, he come down, law electorate. Or he walk him all assessment pinis, long ground. Determining pinis also, yes, we may qualify. We meet him all get the requirement, all get the criteria. That's all, time we play meet him, this submission, he go back. You go along Boundaries Commission, you know what one pla come back or one pla confirmation, he come up or say, are we in the process to kisin some lagain look sawe or some new pla electorate or not? I also understand that in the last parliament, you got some list of new electorates that were approved or endorsed. Na miharim too. Boundaries Commission 2 is inundated with requests for new electorates as well. That's actually not on the list. Now, concerned Lomito Solosem, some of the electorates like myself in the Matanai, where it's about 6,600 square kilometers, my DSIP money cannot effectively serve my people. And I know that many other electorates are in the same circumstance as me, where we're struggling to reach the population in the rural areas, using this funding where you make a similar national government. And that's why me strong behind him support the new electorate inside of Matanai Open to try and bring government services a bit more effectively down the area of the place. We play too also in West New Britain. We play contribute to nation building too because we host one of the biggest gold mine in the world, here. We play buy. We play contribute. Contribute bloody way. Not just one play way that's all where you pull him tight him long. So planning long way and employment opportunities. Planning long way and royalty you walk wrong. Okay? Now, me play will contribute to the economy of Papua New Guinea, but you may feel also Namatnai is too large to try and accommodate the population within Namatnai, which is around close to 200,000 people, me calculating. So that's why me pushing this agenda hard no go through. That's why me write them all the past on Boundaries Commission, na kissing Boundaries Commission's officers to come down on the ground, long qualifying this nuclear electorate, me call him now Konos Open Electorate, come up one nuclear electorate, and then try to pursue it to make sure that it's on the list long 2027 national general election. Now, this list me work talk lang in past time. List where yes, it's been approved, but me harimol say the Boundaries Commission is in a position to try and now conduct a review. Another assessment long usat or narapla open electorate that could actually qualify because of the population density stop long all this electorate. Na me like sawe the solo sem true lo question lo miem to post Boundaries Commission can come out clear. Na talking me plus straight now only stop where. When is this list gonna come? Are we gonna review? And if it's gonna be reviewed, can Konos Open Electorate be one of those inclusion lo nuclear electorate to go inside long 2027 election general election is coming up. So I'm talk lo mi sol and me meeting also me play slow to mas lo processimo lisla. We need the departments and the officers within the department lo fast tracking this law. So me all get open members now who are pushing for a new electorate at least can understand position lo me play sit down where now long online usati asking pinis. And then give us a feedback so we know exactly what we need to do lo this time ego. Right now it's a bit of an unknown. It's creating a bit of frustration. Damlo lo place lo saib lo mi lo Central New Island where the new electorate is proposed to take place. The people are getting frustrated, and this frustration is spilling over along all narapla sectors too, factors too, where we're trying very hard to manage it. And I'm struggling at the moment to try and manage all these issues on the ground because it's too big, too large, and it's vast. Planilo yumi milugo electorate blue plan ami mangalim no guturo. I wish I had some of our legally electorate, but some of you all members of Parliament. I got 6 LLGs, 4 of which I need to travel by boat to get to. So I'm struggling no good through. Now in addition to this too, me like strong him too. Works Minister too, this talk me too. Connect PNG and want like good plan initiative. You can. But you mean not putting two connect PNG lo maritime provinces too. So instead of straight him road, you mean straight me sample ferry no boat na at least you mean trying to losing this or banana boat where we're losing or life too much the Solwara. Can we start looking at those maritime provinces with a decent sized vessel that can accommodate safely all people will meet and will commute go come. Our outer islands require government services, and the only way that they reach government services if they got to travel, and someone needs to travel 4 or 5 hours just to get into town. Look, it's in basic services, that's all. So me like looking at connect PNG a little bit more holistic in terms of considering maritime provinces that we don't have road access, but you may got saltwater access problem. So you mean up look long, buy some long all this boat too, help him you me no gonna come. Now me believe also planning all members in the same circumstance are happy to go kina for kina or try to help him too lo this side. Or say I'm willing to do from the Matnai district standpoint. You can lo support him. So I'm legally talk to solve me like put him down the floor lo consideration you me. If there's areas that we need to fine tune, please Electoral Boundaries Commission. Can we step up? If there's going to be a review, announce him review. Me like him you lo edim Konos Open you go inside Longen lo 2027 election antap Longen maritime provinces please you me try na look long sample vessels because where Connect PNG is not really connecting us on that side, but a vessel will really complement Connect PNG holistically. Thank you.
Honourable Member for Northwest. Northeast.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Melek Toktoglo Connect PNG. Number one, Melek Tok, thank you, Nubla Minister. Very energetic Now, maybe you will move further within that 14 months left long. Today, you may Papua New Guinea, you may start 51 years now. Another 50 years, Narabla chapter, you may starting. And we have been called by international community as a beautiful country with a lot of resources. Now, Pacific 2 also, hey, Papua New Guinea and one blah, halfway, Ogada Mansa, Pining, Ogada something. Now, you mean I must do. That's all when connect PNG, it come inside. Plenty Facebook, plenty WhatsApp. A lot of criticism. I would like to thank Marabe and Rosso government. Even me at Pangu doesn't mean no boss to me yet. We have to say thank you to one of my Abdul Longen. You must talk thank you. I think the whole 90% of Papua New Guinea now watching the TV stuff. Hey, all by talk, hey, Cowboy member must be not easier. Why is talking about connect PNG? Because city and Molga or something. But I have to say this one and tell the 90% population of the country, you mean. Now all talk, hey, all Panguya, all carry money, a lot of Facebook talk, all carry wallet, all carry money. Now contract PNG is spending plenty of resources and something. But members of parliament, with due respect, I'm 51 years now, we have to do it. And I thank this government because who else is going to do it? Government, he come, I go. Prime Minister, he come, I go. And then we let away rich country. Everybody is saying rich, but who is going to connect the rest of our population? Only the John look at car before. And all like some noodles, tin fish also walk about. Silly. Just for instance, example, just going down the creek, now you go under, you spend 1 day. Because what we say. But you what you go down another half day. And you what you go under Narabla half day. Also, this connect PNG is helping a lot of population in the rural areas. So you mean I can go to Facebook, na bakaram this la government. Na talk, living talk, we go come. Who else is going to do it? Who are you going to do it? Or we say to come Prime Minister tomorrow by walking? Of course we know our cash flow is down. Not planning money going to connect PNG. Yes, you are correct. But we are a developing country. Gold Kobai come here. Oil workers shoot out, look at how come here. The resources are still going to come up, but only accessibility is by road. Of course, Member Blodamatanai talk. And Minister for Works, take note of that. We are talking about land. We have got to see to. And then we got air too. So Minister of Civil Aviation, take note of that, all the airstrips. And then Solwara said, look at him. Minister, you look at him, you must also, because every time you are in line from Mr. Solwara, only they come back, 3 days. And then you are in helicopter after, hey, Solwara big blows in, how are you going to find the remaining bones? So you must also balance it. When you connect PNG by road, by air, by sea, then you will balance the rural community.
Now, me like talk thank you, opposition leader. Yomba. Time you go to balus me look him. Suawaya karnas tasol white. I want him. You already started. Also, according to copy back to the White House. No, now the White House is gone. The Karnas White House, the cars run smooth through Goloswawe. Let's connect PNG. Let's not criticize each other because you all need roads. House you go down Marsin, but you carry him Nagoa. School down, go down by material, but you carry him Nagogori Goa. And by road, that's all. Road is accessibility of our community. Road is accessibility of our community, commodities. COVID, Cobra. Hey, all I know, place you're going garden, kago after kago, cabbage after cabbage, carrot after carrot. You're looking more by Karim Nego. This road is a way forward to boost our economy. So me here looking planet criticism on Facebook, now WhatsApp now. I think it's about time. Member must be why I have told him. I got more population. My electorate is over 500,000. It's like another province. And now CDM billion, 1 million plus now. But another question is, we work for us here with my governor. We will connect PNG. Naikam lo Hikori, Naikam lo Kerema, Naikam lo Mosby. Law and order. Where's the security in Mosby? Before we connect down to Port Moresby City. Police Minister, you must also take note of that. Midla Governor, work location, reserve police, spending so much money on reserve. So time will connect him, Kigori, they come down lo here, lo Kerema. Mimla must empower police of city. Yesterday he talked about gender-based, not total of marry one side, that's all. But security law of city, you must maintain it. So you may connect him, PNG come down, yes. But this is where everything started. Policemen power, reserve police, Lost city must, you will boast him Uganda. Even Mibla is a national government budget long. Road from Mibla, of course. Mibla pay GST, na Mibla governor work like ECC, Mibla work like Yusum, na work like sensitive city staff. I'm good plan. But to end, we talk thank you, Lord Isla government, to give the light to our people in the rural areas. Now they can see the noodles, tin piece, only look at car, only come buy kerosene go, soapy go, low area blow, now place where only look him, long and all look him. So, me like if you balancing one them air, by sea, so that we see the all parts of the country must benefit through this Connect PNG. Thank you.
Just give me this one. Minister, Intergovernmental Relations.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. My contribution today to grievances debate is related to Oil and Gas Act, particularly as it references Section 47 and 48. These sections refers to social mapping and landowner identification studies, as well as it also contributes to ministerial determination insofar as the project's benefits are concerned. Let me first of all thank our government for recently announcing the venue for the development forum, which is to be held partially in Kerema town, basically to launch the the discussion and then do the negotiation in secure location in Port Moresby. And I want to thank our government for clearing this issue that has been bothering our people for some time. But at the same time, secondly, let me thank our government for working very hard to fast-track this very important project that will contribute to the development of our country and changing the lifestyles of our people. When the announcement was made, it sent two signals. One is that of excitement, and people looking forward towards benefit that will be derived from this very important project. But at the same time, it sent negative signals, signal that perhaps created anger, frustration, animosity, and this has been one of the reasons why I want to present to this Honorable House what needs to be done, or we need to take note of some of the concerns that I want to raise here. Since last year, I've been hearing, or I've been consulting my people, particularly in relation to the issues of landowners who are included in the SMLI report and who have been left out. And I found that nearly 80% of what is known as traditional landowners, by virtue of their cultural and historical rights, have been left out. And about 20% of our people have been included. They're the ones who are very excited, and they'll be marching to the banks in terms of benefit sharing when the benefits are given into the future, as long as the project exists to provide for our country as well as our people. And this lies the concern. The concern is that SMLI report has created this problem for our people. And I want to suggest here that Minister Petroleum, I want to thank you for your leadership and what you have been doing, talking to our developers in Paris and Singapore in trying to fast-track this important project, given, well, conflicts that are apparent that may interfere with this very important project. But I ask and I appeal that there should be some amendments made in oil and gas that caters for those people who have cultural and historical right to project site. Since last year, I've been talking to our people both in Port Moresby and back home. And I have found that 9 tribes of Baimuru, LLG, have been completely left out. And on the 3rd of this month, I was in Poroi, PDL 15. And I found that of the 149 clans, only 9 were included. And these are people whose villages are living around the PDL 15 area. And this is very serious. The good thing is that they understood what I was there for. Basically looking at this issue so that I can find some ways of including my people, people who should be benefiting from this important project. And therefore their discussion basically was to do with their own concerns that they're landowners, but by virtue of social mapping, they've been left out. What are we going to do about it? That was the issue that raised. Similarly, I have had discussion last week with my people as well
and I still have ongoing discussion and dialogue with people who are left out in Ihu East and Ihu West. About 3 major tribes have been left out. Okay, we can look at the definition of Section 47 and do nothing about it. But this is, I guess this law has been done, okay, it's 1998 Oil and Gas Act, but been amended in 2020. But it reflects nothing about Papua New Guinean cultural and historical rights. It separates and demarcates our people from having these rights. We need to make those amendments to reflect that if people are left out because of a narrow definition of Section 47 and 48, we need to look at cultural and historical rights of these people in order to protect the project. Right now there's ill feelings, not only in Port Moresby but also back in the villages. So what I've been doing in the last few months is basically to try and talk to the people and assure them that our government has not forgotten them. We need to look at alternative pathway to addressing this issue. I don't wish to see the next 30 or 40 years, if I'm allowed to live that long, that there is anger and frustration still going on. And similarly, by way of protecting this very important project into the future, we need to do something about it as a government. And I want to thank Prime Minister, particularly being open-minded about it. After returning, I'll send 2 reports, basically raising this issue. And I believe that our minister will take into consideration my concerns. In that way, our people's interests are accommodated and protecting this important project. Let me talk about this social mapping. There's always what is known in science as peer review, whether it's a biological science, social science, medical sciences. This is where another person of the same training looks at your work and then make its comments, so it can be a public document thereafter. I requested this particular document in 2013 to have a review of it because my training is in anthropology. In my professional life, I spend all my time doing exactly that work. Salvage research, archaeological research, social mapping. I was not given the opportunity to look at that report. Had I been given a report, I would have made some serious remarks and adjustments in order to protect not only the project, but also ensuring that our people benefit from what is rightfully theirs. Into the future, we must make amendments to legislations. Legislations are not written in stones. We must make those adjustments so that our people can benefit. Legislation already we know are basically historical and colonial documents. So we need to make those adjustments. I pray and hope that our government will take into consideration what I'm talking about in the interest not only of the people, but to protect the project into the future. Thank you.
I will give this opportunity to the new governor for New Island Province elect. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker. I do share the same concern as the Honourable Member for Namatanai on the new electorates for Konos Open and New Island missing out on the Connect PNG programs. But today, I'd like to make my maiden speech. Honourable Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Honourable Opposition Leaders, Deputy Opposition Leader, Ministers, Governors, Members of Parliament. I am very privileged again to be elected to this Honourable House, but this time representing the people of New Island, Vilas Place, as the regional member, governor, and chairman of the New Ireland Provincial Assembly. It is certain now that through this by-election that I am here as the regional member, governor, and chairman of the New Ireland Assembly, endorsed by the Electoral Commission, sworn in this Honourable House by the Honourable Speaker of Parliament, acknowledged further and endorsed by the Ombudsman Commission, and promptly advised by the Minister for Provincial Government and Local Level Government, Minister Sorry, to be sworn in and administered by the Provincial Administrator. All this was done in good faith and in accordance with the statutory government and laws. Honourable Acting Speaker, with deepest and most sincere respect for our judiciary and professional courts, we now find relief, and now the people of New Ireland have earned back their respect, rights and privileges. This is not the New Ireland way, or Passin New Ireland, what we went through. Now, me like talking more people belong New Ireland and PNG, that I sit here on this side of Parliament just as my father did after 2022 elections, supporting the Honourable Prime Minister Marape and his Pangu party, not only once but twice, supporting you, Prime Minister, in your leadership, in your commitments to our country and New Ireland. From launching the New Ireland International Airport, Caving Airport, now proposed Caving Wharf, and continuous sealing of the Bulumiski Highway. Yes, Mr. Speaker, there was a fallout when the late Governor Sir Julius crossed the floor to the opposition, but this was not due to the Prime Minister's leadership, but because he was stripped from his own royalties by our local members who compromised to reduce also the provincial budget. But that matter now has been resolved. New Ireland provincial royalties belong to the provincial government, and I have just been recently reassured that will be reimbursed the 40 million that was taken away. Mr. Speaker, Acting Speaker, by God's grace and mercy, an association transpired from the member of Caving and the Treasurer, Honourable Ian Ling Starkey, and the Pangu Party New Ireland to accept me as the regional candidate, fully endorsed by People's Progress Party, New Ireland and PNG. I stood unopposed. Mr. Acting Speaker, Pangu Party and PPP alliance was done in the beginning, back in 1968 to 75, from 75 to 82, in the infancy of independence. We maintained our relationship again in 2002 to 2007, 2007 to 12, 2017 to 22, and now today. I'm here just as a PPP member, but not just as a PPP member, but with the full support of the member for Caving, Treasurer, Honourable Ian Ling Starkey, and the Pangu Party, New Ireland. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to give special thanks to the Honourable Douglas Tomarcia, member for Kiruna Goodenough, for his stern leadership as our leader of PPP. Mr. Speaker, there was a clear vacancy in the regional seat for New Ireland in Parliament, and also for the People's Progress Party. For almost 3 months, our party supporters nationwide and former leaders, former members of parties, parliaments, deputy prime ministers, who all came through PPP and endorsed by Sir Julius himself, including secretaries of departments and ambassadors. We were all left in suspense, in the clouds for 3 months, before the honourable member for Kiruna Goodenough came our way. through an agreement he made with the late Grand Chief Sir Julius himself in the corridors of this House during Parliament session. Honourable Douglas, on behalf of my family, siblings and Lady Stella, the PPP executives of PNG and New Ireland, and supporters nationwide, especially all party supporters of New Ireland, the birthplace of PPP, I thank you sincerely for keeping the party alive in this honourable House. After 55 years, we still exist, unshaken, unbroken, and under your leadership, with the partnership of this coalition partners, I see a great future ahead. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to take this opportunity to officially thank the Honourable Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Treasurer, and the government and state ministers for their foresight and vision and nationalistic and patriotism by putting politics aside and putting the face of Grand Chief Sir Julius on 100 kina. This is a significant milestone to honour the man that we know as Papa for Keenan and Toya. My brother was born on the same day Sir Julius was introducing the currency on the floor of Parliament, the old House of Assembly, in April 1975. His brother from the Highlands region, Sir Yano Bello, also shares that part of history and history with his son being named Kina. Honourable Prime Minister, definitely you're an honourable man with the respect you have shown to us all towards the pioneering leaders and founding fathers. And may they rest in peace. And I thank you, Prime Minister, and may God bless you and Papua New Guinea, all the New Islanders, the member for Kaving and Treasurer, all constitutional heads and judiciary, for the privilege of being here in this honourable House. Again, my fourth time, but as the Governor of New Ireland. Thank you.
Member for Samarai Murua.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker, for giving me time to contribute to this grievance debate. Before me make him talk with me, I'd like to take this floor and congratulate our leader man who said he come join him this house. First and foremost, the Governor along New Ireland, congratulations upon your elevation. And good he come along people along New Ireland, family below you. Two, Honourable Keeper, member belong day. We congratulate you long elevation below you. One time more people below you long day. Only mark him you come inside, to represent him. Mouse belong all inside this house. We got a couple of grievances that I'd like to raise at this time. And I thank you, Assistant Speaker, for giving me this time. Over the past few years, Office below me been work on time, all technical team below me, one time some of our stakeholders. You press sit down, look, try understanding the issue below me inside the district. And we have realized a couple of pressing issues, very important issues. Amlo district, but at the same time it has also important too long national or nation building. And out of that, we plan making plenty something. But inside of this plan, all plenty all issues when we plan look long and one them ground, two or resources where we play got, and that is one mining. Now plan long saltwater, long fishing. And after two, we play look long Jomat passage, and the opportunity that we have for a deep support. So we play sit down and look over this plan. we play go back past time long ground. The ground and present issue because there is already an existing challenge, especially long woodluck. Long woodluck, you may get say that over 80 or 90% of the land is under state lease. But right now, triple portions of the ground, they start running the one foreign company. And because the one Supreme Court, this is a foreign company, and all in this state leases. Makes more technical officers let me go down, and we did an extensive survey, and we had a report. And that report is now before Mr. one time Lands Department. And I thank the Lands Minister. He has been very cooperative, one time Secretary, to address the issue that we have raised. But there is you got blockage inside the system of Lands Department where the issue that people are raising and we're going to stuck. But people don't go stop and wait up. Then people look over and way long, try and addressing this issue. So during my time, people appointed one lands officer in the district to take on the responsibility along land mobilization. So we went back again to woodluck. But this time, people focused on Guasapa. We focused on Guasapa. So I said, give me look at Guasapa past time, so we take it on a piecemeal base. So we made applications. We go inside our government, our Lands Department, to help us to acquire, using process, location certification for those leases. And today I'm grateful that Lands Department only giving me this application, I'll give him a certificate. A certificate, and we granted me to go into the feasibility study.
Yeah.
And we engaged both Provincial Lands Office, one time Lands Officer below me, they did survey, cadastral survey. We'll go inside looking physical planning, not doing cadastral survey. So I think this process will go in, and eventually, all these leases by permanent or DDA. People like DDA by kissing. So DDA can sit down one time on people, woodluck, and DDA can sit down one time on investors, look, survey how best we can develop, people can develop in this plan. Biar me talk again on this ecotourism, instead of grievance debate with me. But lands, issue ground, we already started. So DDA blow me putting money go inside to invest, mobilize in ground. So we have done the survey along woodluck. Now we come holding Missima. Why Missima? Because mine by come. So the approach when we put him on woodluck, we can put him on Missima. We like him over state list by come and to DDA. Now you start investor, you come and sell up, you must sublease. Subleasing. You know, you talk about extreme lease. We have learned from what Missima mine did to us. Or develop Oxim state lease. Oxim state lease, we're going to build a lifelong all. After mining we finish, they ripped up everything. All making a lifelong all. They stripped everything that they built, now selling. So I said, this will never be repeated again. So now we talk, no, got me by state lease, and then we plus sublease. DDA by sublease, you go to investor. Now time you sublease, you go to investor. You build according to our plan and our program for the district. Now blow people, blow samurai one. So that's exactly what is happening now. Mipa Penisim blow woodluck, now we become holim blow Missima. And now they're doing exactly what we have done in woodluck. There is a need for collaboration between the district, the province, and also the national departments in lands. All we must work one time. Yeah. The purpose is the same. And one task is to hold the ground, protect the ground, and hold him for people. Even if you give him ground, nothing. Yeah. Suppose you go to another country, or leases, or ground, or not give him nothing. They protect the land. Or hold him ground. Yeah. Or not give him nothing. They can sublease or you can rent him. But never to own it. never to own it. So you may not can repeat this law here. We need to change those laws. We need to protect our land because the land is our people. And Giranam people. So this you must look strong long and protect them all ground, especially state leases. And I stay in Haram Pinis, all customary land too. All customary land too, you may not can sell him too. You may not can sell him customary land. We must protect it. Not going to give him nothing. We thank him, as chairman, long parliamentary committee go pass long customary land. Whatever I may give him, you must support him. You must support him. And block it down. Me like talk again long mining. In Salo district, we host a number of ELs, exploration licenses. Rossell Island, you got, Sudest Island, you got, Missima, you got, you got a Woodlock, and we call him a couple of ELs plus 1 ml. And then we have one EL long, half long Basilaki, Ikamo Sidea, Ikamo Geta long Loani. But this EL, lo Basilaki, and we cover him too, Solwara. Island want Solwara mix him. I don't know, Sati grant him this a year ago. Why not put him go and sell Solwara too? We need to investigate that further now. Suppose he is stopped yet, you may cancel him. Everyone can stop in sell Solwara. You put him on top of the ground tassel. No can give him sell Solwara. Why not we grant him this a year one time Solwara ego? Who should approve him? Why has that occurred? We need to go back. You go along all land Usati look out in this plan. We need to go back to MRA. Usat technical all land in approving this plan. One of Solwara. You may not can give him. Me plan all island ya. Our livelihood is in the sea, not on the land. So we need to investigate that further now. We need to cancel that, correct it. But let us go back to the ELs. There is great concern when we look at ELs. I saw in Missima, Kingston held the EL. All holy me go until recently, this are EL, you may give him octet in mind. Company blow him yet. But that EL was held for a long, long time. Why?
Honourable Member, your time is up. You may conclude your grievance debate, please.
Thank you. But let me make it short. MLSM. ELs, you're not going to give him nothing. Only when you got money. You look low. Balance sheet blow you. Suppose you got money. You may give him yearly goal you so you can develop it. Suppose not got. Don't take it and warehouse it. Then you hold him and eventually you use that as a portfolio to raise revenue blow you now area, especially in Australia, stock exchange. So that you can fund your project in Australia and not in EL where you can. You may not can make him this one. Look good long. Me now raise him long Woodlock. Woodlock all me EL stop you go and I'll give him more ML, you go now. All no make him one mining. Why give them the ML? Stop him now. You must stop him. We correct this using our laws. Suppose all him for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, how much time will renew, law ML, stop it now. Cancel him, let mix in. Cancel him, mix in.
Thank you.
Me got district mining company blow me, buy me apply. Buy me apply, na mix him over a year, na ML, na me at me mine.
Thank you, Member.
Thank you. I think that's all. Thank you.
Honourable Governor for NCD.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Give me opportunity to contribute long grievance debate. Me got two grievances na me by try and balance him 5 minutes each or something else. But I'm long pla all talk yeah, but Miss Kelly. Assistant Speaker and members of Parliament. And number one grievance is about this agenda long since we come to Parliament. It's a right agenda needs to be advocated. emlo rural agenda. Mr. Assistant Speaker, you member of Bogian, me respect him you. Olga member along rural areas too, you may respect him you plana. This narrative that 80% of our people live in the rural areas is very important. We must maintain it. But grievances Blomina, I think all member Blomipla along urban centers, and me also neglected for how many years now? Nearly the good part of the 50 years. Me them taken for granted, or you may just ignore him. That's all. Me like just take advantage of this opportunity to raise the urban agenda. Mr. Speaker, now honourable members, Mount Again is important to all of Western Islands and the Upper Islands region. Leyte too is very important to Morobe and Momase and Papua New Guinea too. It's a center point, you mean crisscrossing Goikam. Likewise, Kokopo, na Goroka too, very important urban center. Here, mostly is our capital. You play Kainkai Nevi, stablo you play Kainkai up, you play stablongen, you play Kamna, stab good lawyer, family stab good lawyer, you play invest lawyer, working business lawyer. We try to make the environment, safety and security good so that all your interests, family play can stab good. And then you can go back, develop in rural areas, district, and the entire provinces. So, Mipla line long urban centers, Mipla feeling of sema. Sometimes you mean neglecting, you mean equal attention in come long all urban areas. Maybe but most be Mipla looking Mipla got big like GST na. Then some of the time government helping you mean so. You may get this loop side thinking of some, but must be maybe MXIM, so, it's probably to the at the expense of other urban centers. So, but urban centers, Mr. Assistant Speaker, it's very critical to overall development. Government using down the urban centers here. All the corporates are using down the urban centers here. All church too, all establish urban centers here. All the NGOs too establish urban centers. From the urban centers, you may go out and build them or provide service and open up the rural areas, the goods and services, market open up. So we are equally critical to national development. So it's about time too, you may thinking strong long, balance him, balance him, this narrative, thinking long, urban agenda too. Yes, rural agenda is important. 80% of our people live there. And this is a national challenge, Yumi too, Mr. Assistant Speaker and members of Parliament. The global trend, goals, by 2050, nearly 70% of the people of the world will be urbanized. Papua New Guinea, we are exceptional yet. About 80% or maybe rural electorate, so you play advocate yet though, some 90% or something or something. And if that is the case, then Assistant Speaker and members of Parliament, Prime Minister, you must make him a goal. We must set a goal to say that we must maintain this equation, that we are going to defy the global trend and keep 90% of our people or 80% in the rural areas. And we must develop the strategy to make that happen. It could be part of the reset for the next 50 years. If we don't come up with the strategy, the global trend here is hard here. Mr. Assistant Speaker, even big, strong countries, they I say like, all got strong law. Like China, almost stopping the rural urban migration. Now all people pull up along big cities like Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou. Shenzhen used to be a small town or small city about 30,000 people about 30 years ago. Now it's about 20 million people. Population come where? From the rural areas. So this is something that we like raising for us to think about seriously. Think about, balancing the two agenda, the rural agenda and the urban agenda. You mean like Alpimal rural people, you mean most of the people live there? Please, Mr. Assistant Speaker and members of Parliament, not at the expense of the urban centers, because urban centers, we are equally important. We must be given some attention and agenda, support too. All towns blow you must look out them all too. The infrastructure and needs blow urban centers. Increasingly population will come. Hey, people are facing challenge every time here. Infrastructure challenges, services challenges, creating housing, providing opportunity. It never ends. It never ends. We are challenged every time. Rural areas, I think you open members staff now. Some play you can go now. Online you will place. All got house from all got wara staff, all got garden staff, all got pig staff. So all stuff good here. Now people along rural areas, urban centers, people who come now, all got garden no. All by look at the kakaruk na pig all no got here. So they have to survive on cash economy. And we have all no got house. So we have to think about housing for them and provide health and education. Beginning population go big plan. We are under pressure all the time. So me like highlighting this so that this national narrative that 80% of our people live in the rural areas, you can keep him. Me no against him. Me plan urban centers, me plan no against him. But me plan like him legally also. Me balance him legally. So that we think about the urban centers, their critical role in, national development and in providing, opportunities for our people, service for our people. It's very important for all of us. In the world now, you look at Australia. If you look at Australia, it's about 80% urbanized. If you look at our neighbors like Philippines, Mr. Assistant Speaker, there are 3 cities that define that country. Manila, Cebu, and Davao City in Mindanao, down south. Everything rotates around the 3 cities. All the development, the information, the market, the services. That's the significance of urban centers. So we take advantage of this grievance debate to highlight that. So me take into consideration national planning, national development, resetting, narrative here. My brother here from Western Britain talk all the time Hoskins Kimbe that's very important to urban centers in his province. Imagine if Kimbe collapse or Hoskin volcano up na ipasimo. How will they function, this province of ours, Western Britain, looking after Papua New Guinea and contributing to national economy? So, must be, for example, Mr. Assistant Speaker, me plan no got cocoa or coffee or cacao, me plan no got fish or timber or no got gold, copper, oil too, but we still contribute nearly about 1/3 of the national economy come to Port Moresby through the different, business, sector, or especially hospitality, service industry, accommodation or some real estate. We can contribute to national GDP too. If we build more houses to accommodate more people, housing, price goes up and down, we can also contribute to stimulating the economy. People are thinking long, mining, fishing, that kind of thing. But the urban centers, if we invest in the urban centers, we can also contribute to the, stimulating and growing the national economy. So, me like advancing this slide, you can look long enough. Then, Mr. Assistant Speaker, on the 26th, 24th, and 26th of this month, we will be hosting for the first time the Pacific Urban Forum. It's a forum that takes place regionally, but also globally too. It's a prelude to the World Urban Forum in Baku in Azerbaijan. This is a forum that all the cities around the world, they come and contribute ideas and share, experience and try to build cities to be better sort of a, livable city, contributing to national economy. contributing to national development. So it's an opportunity for me to hosting this event forum, and we hope to after that have a national event forum. So all the open member long marking all event centers, we will be inviting you all to come. So Deputy Prime Minister, Member Blolei, Member Bloyumilo Hagen, Minister, Member Bloyumilo Kevia, Treasurer, all the member for Goroka, Member Blonga Kokopo, we come and have this conversation with our Pacific counterparts, and then after that, Mr. Speaker, we should have a national event forum where people do cities, the 4 cities of the country, plus all the towns. You know, second level town. Goroka is
Governor,
growing.
your grievance debate time is up.
Second
You may
half,
conclude your debate.
so. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Time, yeah, you grow is.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition and Member for Chuave.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. My short contribution to grievance debate this morning. Just on the Connect PNG contracts that have been published and awarded by the government. We've announced for Sepik and we've also announced for Milne Bay. I'd like the government to really remind themselves about the promise that the good Prime Minister and the government made to the people of Simbu with respect to Karamui. And please announce next week that you've announced billion kina contracts here for Sepik and Karamui and Milne Bay. And we'd like to know how much you'll be allocating for Karamui to once and for all open up Karamui to Papua New Guinea, so it's no longer geographically delimited, and the people of Karamui can have access and effectively contribute to growing the Papua New Guinean economy. That's one, Assistant Speaker. Secondly, just on the opposition's role to keep, to enforce accountability and government scrutiny. Last year we've written to all the ministers of cabinet asking them on how the 2025 budget was spent as part of the ESON framework. And Assistant Speaker, it has just been shocking to see that of all the hard-working ministers of cabinet, that only one minister, the Honourable Anopala, the Minister for Department of National Planning and Monitoring, Sir Anopala, was the only one that responded with respect to MTDP, Vision 2050 and 2025 appropriations. Now, this is just an absolute shock, Assistant Speaker. If this is the level of transparency, good governance and accountability that ministers of cabinet are applying when scrutinized by the opposition. So it's really important, Assistant Speaker, that the country is fully aware, for example, of how much it cost to run the census, although you've said it before, but how much you received and how much you spent. It's important for the country to know how much exactly the Minister for Agriculture received and how he spent this money to promote the agricultural sector, to boost employment, to address youth bulge issues. It's really important for the country to know how much the Minister for Correctional Services received to improve the state of our prisons in the country, and so on and so forth. Now, to date, we're in the opposition, we're all in the dark, because you ministers of state, you ministers of cabinet seem to be beyond reproach. You don't want to respond. You don't want to come to Parliament and tell the country how much money you've received, public money, Assistant Speaker, public money, money that belongs to the people of Papua New Guinea, and how you've used this money to impact MTDP 4 and Vision 2050. So, Prime Minister, it's on record. We've written, we've put follow-ups, and now it's also with the Chief Secretary. If you could, all these ministers, all these hard-working ministers, Assistant Speaker, if they could just tell the country how much they received in 2025, what they did with the money, and how we can gauge their performance. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
It's grievance debate. What's your point of order, Minister?
with respect to the opposition leader, there are criteria that we follow. We don't report the opposition leader. The government agencies, government bodies, we report to. We don't report to the opposition leader. Thank you very much.
Minister, your point of order is out of order. This is a grievance debate, and the opposition leader has all the right to lay out his grievances on the floor of Parliament. Minister for Works and Highways.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Lo give me little time to long contribute long grievance debate today. Assistant Speaker, grievance debate below me. This would be my first grievance debate that me putting me come long floor since me come up regional member of Bougainville. Na me like is in this opportunity long talk click long walk about Bougainville. Assistant Speaker, last 2 days or inside of this week, some important agendas have been come inside the house. You may give him big look save long all mama, now all daughters below you me, our women of PNG, and I want to acknowledge our leaders, our 3 leaders, Minister Cassie Sawong, Member Blomilo North Bougainville, Mama Franco, Honorable Francisco Samoso, and Governor Blomilo Central, Honorable Rufina Pita, all Mama, now all Mary, all representing the greater Papua New Guinea women. At the same time, too, me sinili opportunity lo talk thank you lo Mama Blomi. Mama Blomi and Blo Popondeta. She turned 80 April. She has the hindsight of the past, and so I am grounded in her wisdom. So me talk thank you now. Olgata Mama Blomi lo Bougainville. Assistant Speaker, liklik contribution Blomi Amolsem. The women of Bougainville, since the civil unrest, may have been the most disadvantaged women since Yumi gained independence, Yumi, because only been losing almost 12 years of their lives, constantly running, looking for shelter, and having uncertainty if they were to live or to die. They were also burdened by the trauma of having their husbands, their brothers caught in the conflict. And so the trauma was horrendous. Now these women birthed young men and women back then. And whilst they went through their lives, 20 years later, those young men and women have now become parents also. And so we've lost a generation of proper family homes. And the trauma is deep with our young men and women of Bougainville. But having recognized the women of Bougainville and the females and the children that went through the trauma, I must also highlight that even the soldiers, the defense force that were sent to Bougainville at the early age, some were 19, some just got married. They also left their wives, the young family behind. So the trauma is not necessarily just on Bougainville. It is also deep in our defense force. There has not been proper counseling of our families on both sides. And so, Mr. Speaker, I ask the wisdom of this House that whilst two governments have come towards the pointy end of our peace agreement, which speaks of the referendum result coming to the floor of Parliament, we have a moral obligation to look at those families that have been traumatized still today. And I did echo to our good Prime Minister and to our caucus, and I ask the same to our opposite, that whilst we acknowledged our women of Bougainville, I ask that the government also give recognition to the children in terms of providing an opportunity, a quota for our young men and women to be institutionalized into our institutions, into our higher educations. Give them a portion so that they'll be properly placed into our universities, our technical colleges. It's the least we can do to appreciate our women, our mothers, and the children that have lost a good part of their growing up in their lives. And whilst we look at our children and our mothers of Bougainville, I also ask that our government look at the families of soldiers also in PNG. This is a collaborative approach towards real reconciliation, deep reconciliation. And at the year of reset, this must set a foundation for both Bougainville and Papua New Guinea in what was a significant point of event that changed the trajectory of this country. And I again want to echo and appreciate our Chairman for Customary Lands Committee. The issue that started the civil unrest, at the core of it was the identity of an indigenous person to his or her own land. The unfair treatment of the colonialism, the system and structure which was not favorable to the indigenous person, that has caused Bougainville to uprise, and we saw the civil unrest in Bougainville. And so at this time of reset, whilst we look back onto the past, we look at what is before us, and we have an opportunity to at least write a better future for both Bougainville and Papua New Guinea. Whatever will become into the future, we will continue to be genetically entwined in PNG, geographically positioned forever until Big Maniatemi come back. It is the system that Bougainville have spoken of that has been unfair to them. And as I said earlier, it was the agenda of land and identity. And I am so pleased that the chairman in this reform is now giving an opportunity for us to take full ownership to what was already ours. It was not terra nullius. It was already ours. And it is what was given rightly to us. And this forum of leaders today, in this year of reset, I want to appreciate both sides. And this government also has been very fair. We may have policy differences, but when we have a common agenda, we are equal. And it is also refreshing to see that there are healthy arguments. We must have healthy arguments. As I said earlier, because it is the people that we must serve and do better. So at this juncture, Assistant Speaker, grievances blomi, long highlighting mo needs blong ol mama blomilo Bougainville na walkabout long Bougainville na PNG into the future. And me hope how he can harim na Yumi can put him some strong policy in a program belong all tupla families on both sides of our beautiful country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader of Government Business. Honourable members, I now interrupt the debate, and the question is, the grievance has been noted. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the Speaker asks leave of Parliament to vote motion without notice.
Is leave granted? Aye. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the leave of absence be granted to Mr. Theo Pelgin for the duration of the meeting due to ill health.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament do now adjourn until Tuesday, 17th March 2026 at 10 o'clock a.m.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, I adjourn Parliament to Tuesday, 17 March, 10 o'clock in the morning.